After the events of Endgame, an elderly Steve Rogers passes his shield and the mantle of Captain America to Sam Wilson. His lifetime friend and buddy, Bucky Barnes, popular for his mantle of the Winter Soldier, gets pardoned by the US government. Bucky gets nightmares from his past life as the Winter Soldier. Bucky meets with a therapist, Dr. Rayner, and discusses his condition. Dr. Rayner is a government-mandated therapist and is assigned a task to make amends for Bucky's time as a brainwashed assassin. She points out Bucky's condition for pardon, his mental stability. She emphasizes that he's now a civilian and the government keeps a record of his actions, and such nightmares are a bad sign. Rayner suggests Bucky the solution, saying trusting people and making new friends would help him heal. Bucky says he's trying his best, but it's all in vain. Rayner doesn't believe him, saying if he stays alone, his condition will only worsen. On the other hand, Sam struggles with the imposter syndrome. He cannot digest the idea of being the new Captain America. Sam looks at the shield with questioning eyes. He feels it still belongs to Steve. Confused, he picks it up and puts it in the case. Sam is invited to a ceremony in honor of the deceased Captain America. He gives a heartfelt speech and pays tribute to Captain America, saying the world needs new heroes. Sam mentions that the shield has always been a symbol of hope and unity and gives it to the curators for a museum display. After the speech, Sam drives to Delacroix and meets with her sister Sarah. He offers to help set up a seafood family business. Sarah mentions she wants him to repair her boat, to which Sam agrees. Meanwhile, Joaquin Torres, the U.S. Air Force First Lieutenant, investigates a terrorist group, the Flag Smashers, an enhanced recreation of the super soldier serum. He witnesses them rob a bank in Switzerland and tries to stop. However, his attempt stands no chance against the group of superhumans who overpower him easily and leave him unconscious. Acting on Dr. Rayner's advice, Bucky goes to Izzy Cafe with his old neighbor Yuri to look for a potential date. He finds waitress Lee charming and asks her out. Lee agrees. The following evening, Bucky arrives with a bouquet for her, and their date begins. Lee asks questions about Bucky's personal and family life. Unknowingly, she brings up his past. Bucky gets uncomfortable, and he leaves in the middle of their date. After gaining consciousness, Torres contacts Sam, who is repairing her sister's ship engine, and informs him of the incident. Torres sends a text telling Sam to get to a secure line so he can have him watch something, and attaches his beat-up photo. Sam goes to the apartment and checks the footage of the Switzerland attack that Torres sent him. Skyping with Torres, he learns about Flag Smashers. As Sam signs off, Sarah comes in and turns the TV on. The government launches John Walker as the new Captain America to prevent a similar situation. John appears on Good Morning America. The hostess goes over his resume in the military and asks if John is nervous. John says that being Captain America is the greatest honor of his life. However, Captain America's suit comes with expectations. He reveals his desire to live up to Steve's mantle, saying he doesn't have superpowers but does have guts. Winter Soldier watches the broadcast from his apartment. Later that day, Falcon meets with Winter Soldier at an Air Force hangar and asks if he knows the government is going to give the shield to a new Captain America. Falcon says it is irrelevant and tells Winter Soldier to focus on the mission instead, stopping Flag Smashers and their leader from stealing a shipment of medicine. Winter Soldier and Falcon take a cargo plane to Munich. On their way, Winter Soldier reiterates that Falcon should have kept Captain America's mantle. The duo tracks down Flag Smashers at an abandoned factory. Using his scanner, Falcon determines that they are 7 people, all enhanced with super soldier serum. Falcon and Winter Soldier go after the 2 trucks. Winter Soldier confirms that Flag Smashers are indeed stealing the vaccine crates. However, he notices a woman inside and tries to save her, thinking she is a hostage. As soon as Winter Soldier lets his guard down, he is thrown into the windshield of the second truck. The woman is Karli Morgenthau, leader of the Flag Smashers. As Karli and Flag Smashers engage with Falcon and Winter Soldier, Captain America arrives by helicopter. He tries to confront Karli. However, she manages to repel him and escape with Flag Smashers. The Winter Soldier mentions to Falcon that they must find out where the Flag Smashers are getting their super soldier serum. Captain America joins them and tells them he wants to work with them. However, the Winter Soldier refuses, saying he isn't interested in working with him. Later that night, Winter Soldier and Falcon take a plane to Baltimore. Winter Soldier says that there is someone he wants Falcon to meet. Winter Soldier takes Falcon to Isaiah Bradley's home. Bradley is a veteran super soldier who fought the Winter Soldier in 1951 during the Korean War. The Winter Soldier tells Bradley about more super soldiers and Flag Smashers and asks for help. However, the older man isn't convinced and makes them leave. On their way back, 2 policemen pull up and ask to see Sam's ID. After verification, they apologize for not recognizing Falcon. However, they arrest the Winter Soldier for missing a court-mandated therapy. The Falcon goes to the police to bail out Winter Soldier. He meets Dr. Rayner, and they introduce themselves. Shortly after, Captain America shows up, and Dr. Rayner admits that he's the one who got Winter Soldier out of jail. Captain America again proposes to work together. However, Sam and Bucky refuse to work with him. The Winter Soldier suggests visiting the imprisoned Helmut Zemo, the man who used to be with Hydra and manipulated the Winter Soldier. Falcon reluctantly agrees, and they go to the European prison where Zemo is being held. The Winter Soldier meets with Zemo. Zemo recites the activation code to trigger him, but it doesn't work. The Winter Soldier tells him that those days are over. Zemo says what he did to the Winter Soldier was never personal and asks the purpose of the visit. The Winter Soldier tells him that someone recreated the Super Soldier Serum, and he needs to find out who. Zemo agrees to help, so the Winter Soldier orchestrates a prison riot to help him escape prison. The trio takes Zemo's private jet to Madripoor, an island nation in the Indonesian archipelago. Zemo tells the Winter Soldier and the Falcon that Madripoor is a criminal sanctuary city island run by a mysterious man named Power Broker. He warns them that they will need cover identities. After landing in Madripoor, 6 motorcyclists surround and escort them to a bar. They meet the bartender under the disguise of fake identities. The bartender lets them meet with Selby, a high-ranking criminal in the Power Broker's gang. Selby reveals that the Power Broker hired former Hydra scientist Dr. Wilfred Nagel to recreate the Super Soldier Serum. Amidst talking, the Falcon gets a call from his sister, Sarah. Selby has the Falcon answer it on speaker, not knowing the severity of the situation. Sarah reveals the Falcon's real name. Selby wonders who Sam is and tells her men to kill the trio. Suddenly, someone shoots through the wall, killing Selby. Every bounty hunter in Madripoor targets Sam, Bucky, and Zemo. The trio runs down an alley, but bounty hunters chase them. The trio is saved by an ex-CIA officer, Sharon Carter, who has been living as a fugitive on the island. She says that she is the one who killed Selby in the bar. She then directs them to Nagel's lab. The trio goes up to Nagel's laboratory and finds Nagel working. The Winter Soldier interrogates Nagel, while Zemo finds a gun beneath a workbench and secretly pockets it. Nagel reveals that he created 20 vials, and Karli stole them. The reason Power Broker is seeking revenge on her. Sharon runs in and tells them that they're out of time. Taking advantage of Sharon's distraction, Zemo kills Nagel. Chaos ensues as one of the bounty hunters attacks with a rocket launcher. Sam, Winter Soldier, and Sharon retaliate, while Zemo looks for an escape route. Zemo finds a car, and as they escape, Sam offers Sharon to come with them. Sharon refuses to join them, saying she has outstanding warrants. Sam promises to get her pardoned. Meanwhile, Captain America gets the news that Falcon and Winter Soldier were in Munich when Zemo escaped. Frustrated, he takes matters into his own hands and decides to break the rules, saying the end justifies the means. The trio suspects Karli and Flag Smashers would be in Riga, so they head to Riga to catch Karli before her next move. Unbeknownst to them, Karli goes to a GRC supply depot in Vilnius, Lithuania. She, with her partner, raids and bombs the facility, saying violence is the only language that GRC understands. In Riga, Bucky tells Sam and Zemo that he is going to scout the area. He recognizes the Wakanda technology and follows the trail. The trail takes him to Io, a member of Wakanda's Dora Milaje. Io says that she's there for Zemo. She gives Winter Soldier 8 hours to use Zemo before she arrests him. As Zemo killed their king, Chaka, Bucky returns and tells that Dora Milaje wants Zemo. He also confirms that Karli bombed the GRC supply depot, and the Flag Smashers are promising more attacks if their demands are not met. Sam hunches that the Flag Smashers might be doing a funeral for Karli's adoptive mother Danya, who passed away recently. Zemo accepts his proposition and promises to find the location. He walks through the camp and hands out candies to the children, gaining their trust. One girl whispers the funeral location to Zemo. Zemo forbids the girl to share this information with anyone. On their way back, Captain America meets with the trio. He asks why they broke Zemo out of prison. Sam says that Zemo knows where Karli is. He adds that he wants to talk to Karli alone and try reasoning with her. Captain America disapproves of the idea, but gives him 10 minutes nonetheless. He then handcuffs Zemo to a pipe. At the funeral, Sam approaches Karli when she is alone and persuades her to end the violence. He agrees with her fighting motive, but not how she's executing it. Karli says that if he is still hopeful about her, he is either brilliant or hopelessly optimistic. Outside, Captain America looks impatiently at the shield. He paces back and forth and wants to intervene. Bucky tries to stop him, but in vain. Captain America goes inside and declares Karli is under arrest. Karli knocks him back and runs. On the other hand, Zemo gets free and intercepts Karli in the room she uses as her workshop. Zemo opens fire at her and destroys the serum vials. Captain America intervenes, throwing his shield into Zemo's jaw and knocking him out. Karli escapes, and Captain America notices the last unshattered vial. He secretly pockets it as Falcon, Winter Soldier, and Battlestar arrives. At the safe house, Captain America bursts in and demands Sam and Winter Soldier to hand over Zemo. Sam refuses by pointing out that Zemo has proven himself useful. Captain America challenges Sam to a fight and puts down his shield to make it fair. Before they could assess the situation, Io and Dora Milaje arrive and demand the same thing. Io fights Captain America to decide who will take Zemo. In the ensuing fight, Io and Dora Milaje humiliate Captain America, saying he is no match for them. Taking advantage of the situation, Zemo escapes. Later, Captain America and Battlestar get coffee at a mall. Captain America mentions he couldn't handle the warrior without super soldier serum. Battlestar agrees, saying if an opportunity comes, he will take Vile definitely. Meanwhile, Karli calls Sarah and forces her to convince Sam for a meetup. Falcon and Winter Soldier go to the meeting place. They negotiate for a truce. Before they can come to a conclusion, Sharon informs them that Captain America is moving to the Flag Smashers' hideout. Listening to this, Karli escapes to rescue them. Falcon and Winter Soldiers follow. They find Captain America and Battlestar fighting with the Flag Smashers. Karli engages Battlestar and accidentally smashes him into a pillar, killing him. Enraged by his friend's death, and having taken the serum, Captain America loses his mind. He follows one of the Flag Smashers and beats him to death with the shield in front of horrified bystanders. Falcon and Winter Soldier demand the shield from Captain America. Captain America refuses, and they start fighting. Captain America slams Winter Soldier across the room, damaging his bionic arm. Falcon uses a grappling line and pulls the shield out of Captain America's grasp. Captain America retaliates and yanks Falcon's mechanical wings off. He grabs the shield and prepares to kill Falcon. Moments before the impact, Winter Soldier slams into him. Falcon and Winter Soldier, as a tag team, overpower Captain America. Later, Sam visits Torres and gives him the damaged wingsuit. He asks what should be their next step. Torres responds that John, as Captain America, has caused an international incident by killing a foreign national in public. So, the superiors take the matter seriously. Torres examines the damaged wings as Sam leaves. Meanwhile, John is brought before a government council and told that he can no longer present himself as a representative of the United States. He is stripped of his title as Captain America and receives a less than honorable discharge, holding no rank in retirement and receiving no benefits. One senator tells him to return the shield. Dejected John is approached by Contessa Valentina. She tells John that Flag Smashers are all criminals and deserve no less punishment than execution. She adds that senators don't care that Captain America killed the man, but care about protecting their image in the eyes of the world. Valentina hires John, and he builds a new shield from his war medals. In Sokovia, Winter Soldier tracks down Zemo and confronts him. He points out the gun to Zemo and asks for his last words. Zemo tells him to stop Karli and Flag Smashers at all costs and prepares to die. Winter Soldier then reveals his true intentions, to hand him over to Io and the Dora Milaje. Io tells Winter Soldier that Zemo will spend the rest of his days in a Wakanda prison named Raft. As Zemo says goodbye to Winter Soldier, Io advises him to stay out of Wakanda. At the resettlement camp, Karli and the Flag Smashers walk through the abandoned facility and discover that the GRC has shut down the facility. Angered, Karli says that the GRC isn't going to stop unless they make them. She plans an attack on a GRC conference in New York City, where they will vote to move 20 million refugees back to their countries of origin. Karli contacts Flag Smashers, and she tells them they will make sure the GRC vote never happens. On the other hand, Sharon calls a mysterious man and says she has a task for him. Sam watches the newscast about the vote while talking with Torres. As soon as the GRC conference begins, the lights go out. The Flag Smashers move in and take the GRC officials hostage. Wearing the new suit Winter Soldier has brought him from Wakanda, Sam flies to New York to stop the Flag Smashers' attack. Similarly, Winter Soldier walks through the crowd to the building, while Sharon steps out of the crowd wearing an electronic face mask and reveals her identity to Winter Soldier. Inside the building, Karli tells her comrades to execute the plan. Suddenly, Sam crashes in, wearing his Captain America uniform. However, before he can engage Karli, a mysterious man named Batroc attacks him. One of the flag smashers, disguised as a guard, accompanies the officials to 2 police vans in the underground parking garage. He places electronic locks on the van's doors. Sharon secretly watches him and sneakily has him executed with poisonous gas. Karli and flag smashers put barricades to stop the vans. They rip open the cab doors and throw out the police guards, hijacking the vans. Winter Soldier follows the van on a motorcycle and crashes it over a barricade. He takes on the smashers. On Karli's orders, one of the flag smashers pours gasoline on a van and lights it up. Winter Soldier tries to rescue hostages. Suddenly, John arrives in his custom suit and forged shield. The flag smashers engage him while Winter Soldier gets the officials out. John manages to beat 2 of them down with his shield. Karli attacks him, and the 2 fight over a hostage van hanging a dozen yards above the ground. The van starts to fall, but Captain America arrives and rescues it in the nick of time. Their happiness is short-lived as Batroc fires smoke grenades. Karli and her comrades escape in the smoke and enter an access tunnel. Karli looks for other flag smashers, but is confronted by Sharon. They aim their guns at each other, and the situation becomes a stalemate. Batroc arrives, but instead of helping Karli, he points his gun at her. Batroc tries to make a deal with Sharon. He blackmails that he knows her secret and will reveal it to the world if she doesn't meet his demands. Listening to this, Sharon shoots Batroc instead of Karli while Karli shoots Sharon. Hearing the gunshots, Captain America arrives, and Karli tells him to stay back. He attempts to reason with Karli, but she yells him to fight. She aims at Captain America, but hesitates to fire. In the meantime, Sharon gets up and shoots Karli. Captain America goes to the dying Karli, who says she is sorry. Captain America carries Karli's body out of the tunnels and flies to where the officials and the bystanders are. He convinces them to postpone the forced relocation of displaced people that Karli died fighting for, and instead make efforts to help them. Captain America mentions that they have to do better, or the next Karli will soon surface and defy the strongest governments in the world. In the aftermath of the series, the remaining serum-enhanced flag smashers are sent to the raft, but they are killed by Zemo's butler, Oznik, en route. Valentina hires John and gives him a new uniform and mantle. U.S. agent. Sharon receives a full pardon and rejoins the CIA. Leaving the headquarters, Sharon calls an unknown person, stating that nobody has discovered her identity as the power broker. She mentions that, while Super Soldier Serum is off the table, she is still game for selling state secrets to the highest bidder.
Thank you all for your support. If you want to watch more content like this, like and subscribe. Share your thoughts in the comments section, and I will see you next time. Stay curious.